How to know whether you're dating a psychopath.
If you see any pictures where their eyes are like this, on a dating site, if you see anything like that, honestly, run. Like, do not be part of that.
Jaymes White is a mentalist and body language expert.
He has trained police, profiled criminals, and consulted on how to read people better.
How often do we meet psychopaths in our lives?
7% of the population, so you probably encounter them every single day and just not realize it.
What do you think about him?
Guy's looking for a one-night stand. He's not looking for a long-term relationship. She's the kind of person that's going to say she wants a long-term relationship, but it's going to be a bunch of one-night stands. I think she doesn't know what she wants.
Isn't this a common theme with most of
Yeah, that's the problem with Jen. They don't know what they want. And if you don't know what you want, like, what are you going to do in a dating sense?
What do you get out of this guy?
He would be the person that would drive me insane because he's too OCD. The other thing is he does have the psychopath eyes.
Swipe right or left for him?
I would swipe.
How would you read a person on your first date?
So one of the things you want to test to make sure they're not using these techniques is called mirroring. People tell you who they are. It's your choice if you want to believe it or not.
Is there any way to know if somebody is lying to you or manipulating you?
Yeah, so it's the same principle as the lie detection. So it's like break the pattern and overcompensation. So a lot of these girls come to me and like, how do I prevent them? Because all these people just want to sleep with me and I just do that. What I tell them is to have the 10 date rule, and they say don't do anything sexual for 10 dates. This guy I think just does his own thing. Like,
Yeah.
Like I think he doesn't give a shit about anything. He just does his own thing. This guy you could tell is like a genius.
But is he evil?
It's hard to say.
What do you think about him in comparison with Elon Musk?
Elon Musk is not a genius. This guy's a genius.
What do you think about him? This Indian content creator. What do you think about him? Would you trust this guy?
I wouldn't trust him in a business. I don't know how to say this nicely.
No, don't.
I'm gonna get sued.
Mr. Jaymes White, welcome to the podcast again.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me again.
A lot of people might not know this, but you are half Indian.
I'm half Indian, yeah. So my mom's from India, she's from New Delhi, and my dad's from here.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like a hybrid, I guess you could say.
Yeah, hybrid.
But I guess I grew up in both cultures, so it's kind of nice to see both cultures going up.
In the last conversation also, we touched on a lot of topics we talked about séances, we talked about, mind reading, and you did live reading on me as well. And I was so, you were able to guess the name that I was thinking about at that time. So this time we thought about doing something one level deeper, because I was thinking that most of the people, especially when we talk about Gen Zs, they need dating advice.
Yeah.
Now I'm not talking about, who to date, what time to date. We're not talking about that. What we really want to focus on, how to read people, how to read their intention, how to know whether you're dating a psychopath or not. So today's conversation is all going to be for Gen Zs who are looking to get into a relationship, who are in a relationship, and you need to be careful.
No,
who you date.
1,000%. And people, like my whole life, has sent me pictures of people they're going on dates with, and I would analyze them, and I'm pretty much right. I can give you like 1,000 testimonials of people saying, oh yeah, he was right about this, he was right about this, he was right about this. Because it's common sense once you know what you're looking for. And I guess for today's, I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible, because you got to remember I've been doing this for 30 years or a little over 30 years. So it's just kind of, I got to kind of break it down and make it simple so you can actually start right away and look for these signs and look for these things, because it's all there. And most of the time with people, they show you what they are. It's your choice if you want to believe them. So my lawyer, because I have a lawyer on my payroll, thank God, she saves me many times. And she basically, I remember I think 5 years ago, she told me, Jaymes, people tell you who they are. It's your choice if you want to believe it or not. And I think that applies to dating too. You see the signs that are there, but it's your choice if you want to believe it or not.
When did you get into reading people?
So when I was 6 years old. So basically, I think I was a weird kid. So I didn't connect with people. It's kind of like the same thing as a psychopath, but I'm not a psychopath. I have a conscience. But I had trouble relating to people. So it's almost like I didn't understand why people did certain things. I didn't have that. And so I had to learn it all. And that's what, same thing with psychopath. Why are they good at manipulation? Why are they good at these things? Because they have to practice it. Where the average person just knows what to do. So you're not practicing it. It's the same thing with me with profiling and cold reading. As I started noticing patterns on people, and I kind of turned it into a weird science in my head, and I somehow made a career out of it. But it's because I didn't connect to people, and so I started noticing patterns and following patterns around people, and that's kind of how I got good at that kind of stuff. But I think it's because I didn't relate to people, so I don't understand even nowadays. Oh, why does people go to the club and hang out? I don't understand it. Oh, sorry, I don't understand it. So it's kind of something that I think has allowed me to have a career. Because if I did understand, I don't think I would be in this field.
And have you had these kind of experiences with yourself? If you have ever gone to any date yourself?
Yeah, so if you think about it, so say you talk to someone in advance and they're texting you and they say something, and then they say something different when you actually meet them, or you're talking to them and with lie detection, because I train law enforcement and stuff on lie detection. If they say something,
tell me about that part.
yeah.
too.
So if they say something and you know it's a lie, in your head you're kind of going, why is this person lying to you? Even if it could be something simple like, oh, I woke up at noon today, but how they said it doesn't sound genuine. It doesn't sound like it's actually what happened. So you kind of go in your head, why is this person lying?
Yeah.
And so with lie detection, there's two principles you're looking for. So principle one is to break a pattern, and principle two is the overcompensation. So the break a pattern is essentially if I'm moving my hands always like this right now, all of a sudden my hands stop. It could be the opposite. My hands are always dropped. They start moving. You're just looking for the break, if that makes any sense. It doesn't matter what you're doing, it's just the break. If I'm always looking like this, then all of a sudden I look like this, that's more likely when the lie is happening. And then overcompensation is like, it's basically them going over the top for no reason. So it'd be like, the best example would be like, with Bill Clinton, I did not have sex with Monica Lewinsky. Notice he said I did not versus I didn't. So the I did not was the overcompensation.
Oh, even these little
so
cues.
language is very important. So when you always like the I do not, the over the top is what you're looking for.
But what if I just don't like using didn't and I just want to say did not?
I didn't. No, it's fine. You got to kind of see the context. So when he's
context
talking
also.
before and after, but you're looking for like.
Because now I'm
now you're like,
I'm
okay,
looking
maybe-
into my emails
No.
that I try not to.
No, but statistically, if someone
yeah.
said, if you ask your partner, did you cheat on me? And they go, I didn't cheat on you versus I did not cheat on you, the I did not is more likely to be the cheating. It is interesting, eh? And keep in mind, you got to combine all these principles. You can't just assume from one thing that they're cheating on you. But most of the times the signs are there. Like when someone cheats on you, mostly there are all the red flags. You just got to kind of decide if you want to look at them or not.
How would you define a psychopath though?
So a psychopath is basically someone, it's antisocial personality disorder. It's one of those. And it's basically someone that doesn't, the easiest way to explain it for the layperson is like someone that doesn't have a conscious. They can only see their perspective. So like, I'll give you an example. So right now, if I'm sitting here, I don't want to hurt you because you're in front of me and I know you exist. For a psychopath, you exist, but there's nothing there. It's all about them. So if I have, like, say, this planet right here, you're your own planet. Your planet doesn't exist as a psychopath. They only have their own planet. So their reactions to you don't matter. It depends on them. So a lot of people, you always hear, oh yeah, psychopaths don't have emotion. That's not true at all. They have emotion, but it's only towards themselves. So they care so much about themselves that everything revolves around that. Nothing else matters.
Doesn't matter.
They're very, another common thing with psychopaths, they're very impulsive. So they make decisions really quickly. They don't think about the consequences. I like you always hear in the media, oh, these psychopaths are so smart with these serial killers. None of that's really true. Like they're mostly stupid. And the reason they're stupid is because in order to be a psychopath, you're very impulsive. You do these things that other people can't do. You literally rather burn down your whole house than admit you're wrong. So they always get caught if you want them to get caught. So they're not as bright as you think. It's kind of the same scale as the average person. So if the average person, you have the intelligence level, same thing with psychopaths. So there's so many indicators to spot them.
But do you think how often do we meet psychopaths in our lives?
So part of like, you think of psychopaths, narcissists, Machiavelli, it's 7% of the population. It's a lot.
70?
7.
7.
So think about this, 7% of the population. So you probably encounter them every single day and just not realize it. So it's a lot of people when you actually think about it. And so just for people that don't understand, in order to be a psychopath, you have to be a narcissist. But in order to be a narcissist, you don't have to be a psychopath. So a narcissist, a lot of times, they sometimes say it's like, there's always the argument if it's like, you're born that way or you're not born that way. But a lot of times with narcissists, something happens to them when they're younger. They kind of create a barrier around them and become more, and that's kind of the best way I could describe it in a simple sense. And so they're similar to psychopaths, but they're not, it's not even the same world. But, so a lot of times you hear, oh, that person's a narcissist, but it's, sometimes people use the word wrong as well.
But do you think like when somebody's dating someone, is that always that you're looking for signs for somebody to be a psychopath, or it could be just like this person is compatible with me, not on the level of what or how?
Yeah, so it depends on the person. Like, because like I said, is for a narcissist or psychopath, people are like, oh, the signs are not there. They're always there. It's just your choice what you want to believe. And so for like a psychopath, one of the number one indicators, so this is the simplest example. If you looked at, say, let's use an example of we're using pictures online. So you're on I don't know, what's the site, like Tinder or whatever.
Tinder, Unhinged.
So the thing you're looking for, one of the most common things for a psychopath, the thing you want to avoid, if there's one simple message you get from this whole podcast, is if you see any pictures where their eyes are like this. You see how my eyes are spread out? Because they don't know what they're doing in pictures. So it kind of, the thing with a psychopath is they have to learn all their emotions because it's not natural to them. So like for you, for other people, you grew up and it's just everything's natural, right? You don't think, oh, how am I going to pose for a picture? They don't know what to do, so they're thinking and they go like this. So you can find like cases, and I'll send you some pictures that you can put out online of, you know, people that are the worst of the worst and all their mugshots and all their not even mugshot, any picture they're doing this.
Yeah.
And so on a dating site, if you see anything like that, honestly, run. Like, do not be part of that. Don't give them a chance. Like, that would be my number one indicator.
So let's talk about those pictures. Like usually, this is the first sign to look into when you are going on a dating site.
Like this is the easiest for the lay person who knows nothing about this. If you see this in pictures, or they take a picture with you and they're doing this with their eyes, obviously if they're drunk or something, keep that in mind. It's different. But you know, like when you look at that's Ted Bundy, for example. So he's a pretty famous serial killer, and notice his eyes are always wide. So anytime in pictures he does this, right? Like and you know. And the other thing with you got to use your intuition. So if something just feels off when they're looking at you, like they're looking at you too long, or it just doesn't feel right, don't trust your instincts. You know, people don't trust their instincts a lot of times.
This guy?
So that guy is Lanza. So he was, I think, the Sandy Hook shooter, but notice his eyes are nice and wide.
They all have one common theme. They're all looking wide.
Yeah. Like very wide. Like it's almost over top, and that's
But it's so difficult to tell for a woman.
Well, yeah, same thing though. It's like this. So she's doing that. If you actually notice in the picture, her eyes are around.
She's a psychopath too?
I believe so. I think they made a Netflix show on her, and yeah, she's 100% a psychopath.
Oh, is she that Australian lady?
I think she's Australian. It was like Bean Anna or something.
Bean Anna?
Inventing it. I don't know.
Oh, okay. No.
I don't know what the show was actually, but I know like she's 100% psychopath.
Is there any way to know through messages, text messages, WhatsApp messages, if somebody is lying to you or manipulating you?
Yeah, so it's the same principle as the lie detection. So it's like break the pattern and overcompensation. So I'm just going to give you a few examples just because like people at home want to look for these signs. So I'm going to give you like very easy ones just to start. So the first thing is if your partner has a second phone and they never told you about. So that's like one thing that's most likely cheating, because why would they have a second phone? The other thing is equivalent to that is nowadays you can get these apps on your phone that change your phone number. So it's like a different phone number. And so that if you see that app on their phone, that's another indicator of cheating. Through text, a lot of times from the research and what I've heard is there's this thing where a lot of times they'll only talk to you between, let's say, 9 to 5 when they're working, but then they don't talk to you in the evenings. They don't text with you on the weekends much. Why is that? Maybe they have another family. You know, so those are kind of 3 simple ways to kind of look at it. Through text also, you got to kind of see the patterns, because a lot of times you can tell the intent of someone. So what I mean by that is if communication is very important. So if you're not showing that you care, like say I'm sending you your partner or whatever, like a whole paragraph, and then the reply is like, oh, cool, or oh, yeah. There's no, one person's putting all the effort, the other person's not. That's a huge red flag. Because if you're never putting the effort, it's never going to go anywhere, right? Or it means the guy's talking to 7 other people, or the girl's talking to 7 other people. Like, intent's very important, and like that you actually care. And I know I'm saying I'm being very generic. It doesn't apply to every single case.
Not every situation.
But most cases, like because 8 out of 10, it would.
It just hit me because when I used to, before dating Molly. When I used to send her a text, he wouldn't reply. And even if the text would come, it would be just one single word.
And so at the time, so why did she say?
And I understand what is her defense mechanism.
It's a defense mechanism, and it's also sometimes for girls it's testing. So it's showing that the guy actually cares. Like what I mean is if he puts a little bit of effort. But I'm talking about like once you're together or you're dating a bit, then it becomes like now you both text the same and it's not an issue. But if one person's putting intent, and there's other ways to do that. So say for example, like my job, I'm literally on stage. So if I'm on stage, how am I going to text throughout the day, right? And so what that does is say you just do a phone call once a day or whatever that is that makes it work, that you show that you're putting a commitment, you're putting in an effort to them. I think that's what's important, because if it's one-sided, it's not going to last.
So basically that's a red flag if somebody's just replying with one single word.
Or like you say this like long heartfelt thing and they're like, okay, you know.
Are there any specific emojis that people use?
I don't know about emojis. I've never noticed a pattern or correlation between emojis, but it would be the same principle. If they, like you said, this long heartfelt thing and they put like a laughing face, I don't think that's a good sign, you know?
Interesting. Do you want to do something different that we are going to try this time? So I was thinking, how about we check out some profiles on dating apps?
This is gonna be fun. So so the thing for what's interesting about like dating apps is like back in the day, I think with dating and stuff, you know, people would care about the profile, like the writing and stuff. Nowadays, it's just about the picture.
And also like the scene has changed a lot, man. Like back in the day when we used to hang out and we used to find, you know, people who do we want to hang out with, we ran into each other in physical
Yeah.
sense. But now, there's the only way to find people
Yeah.
that you want to date or get into a relationship is through dating apps.
Yeah, and so they've done some studies on this, and so there's one study is about like for men specifically is if you put a picture of a dog, you're more likely to get messages versus if you put a picture of a cat, it actually does the negative. So I don't know if that helps anyone out there, but that's what the studies have said. And then the other thing is dating has become harder, especially for the new generation, because what happens instead of, so say someone's dating someone and they start having issues, they go back on the dating app because it's easier just to swipe and find someone new and you just restart the cycle.
Yeah.
So it's become almost like there's a huge supply now where back in the day there wasn't that.
There wasn't that.
So it's made dating hard. Like I feel bad for the young kids. Like I'm pretty old now and stuff, but I feel bad for the young
You're not
people.
that old.
Thank you, I guess. But I feel young for the people because it's like no one's work gets at it. You have to work in order for a relationship to work, you have to put effort and work.
Yeah, because it is just a swipe away.
Yeah.
They're thinking in their mind, okay, if this is not going to work out, I'm just going to think
Yeah,
about
and you
the
just
other
go back
person.
on the thing and they know there's a million people.
And that is so counterintuitive because now what's going to happen is you're going to find a person not based on how you have related with that person. You have you're really connected with that person, but you're just looking into looks and something that you like.
and it's very superficial, and superficial relationships don't really last.
Yeah.
Because you find them attractive, but what are you going to talk about, for most of the day? And I don't think it's a long-term thing either.
So can we do one thing? And especially the other thing is on the dating apps, there are things that people write about their bio, what they do. So do those things also help in understanding what kind of a person?
Yeah, but like the problem is it's so generic now. Like what I mean is they're going to be like, oh, I like animals and I like to travel and I'm a really loyal person. And it's kind of like, okay. Like, you know what I mean? Well, yeah, let's look at some.
But aren't those
There's no for that stuff. There's no key because the thing is, people write stuff, but no one's looking at that. Like all these new dating apps is only about pictures. Like you think of Tinder, you think of all those things. No one really looks at the writing. But back in the day, I forget what was the one back in the day, like Plenty of Fish or like OkCupid. I think all of them you had to write like paragraphs on paragraphs. So there would be a picture element obviously, but there was also you'd read their paragraphs. And I remember like reading up on this kind of stuff, and people would say, oh yeah, if the guy or the girl didn't write anything in their thing, they would not message or reply, stuff like that. And the other thing is there's so much scams now, like catfish, like people know what catfishing is.
I don't know what catfishing
So catfishing essentially is being someone you're not. So I put a picture of a pretty person and say, that's me. And you pretend to be that person and you never meet them. So there's a lot of things. So like that should be an easy way to kind of get by, because what you do is you make them go on a Zoom call eventually, or you make them meet in person, because they'll never do that stuff, because how can you be a fake person? Right? But that's very common catfishing nowadays.
So what we're going to do is let's go through a couple of boys and a couple of girls. So let's talk about the boys first. So this is one of the profiles. We are not going to show the picture of the people, but we can talk about the bios and everything. What they've written and how do they...
How do I go down?
So you can just zoom in.
Okay, and is there anything like written for him?
So there are two...
Okay, I see what you're saying, okay. Okay, so the first thing about him is like...
First of all, girls take notes.
Yeah, so with this guy, like basically he's doing a picture on the water and he's open up. So what he's kind of giving is the appearance that he's like laid back, calm and cool. He isn't as laid back and calm and cool as you see. He's also hiding his eyes with the glasses, so he's a very shy person. So the picture seems like there's an effort to it. So if that makes sense, it's posed. It's not genuine.
It is not genuine.
It's not a genuine picture, which is fine. He's a shy person. I think he's very shy with girls. That's the thing. So he has to wear his sunglasses. He's looking to the side. He's opening up on the water. It's basically his picture because he's a shy person. And then even if you read the thing, it says recovering from... Can I read it?
Yeah.
Recovering from Saturday with strong coffee. So that's implying that he likes to party. So that says in a long-term sense, a girl, if she's picking this up, will be like, okay, I don't know if this guy wants a long-term relationship, because he's basically implying recovering from Saturday with strong coffee. He's out there partying, drinking. Gym and brunch that turns into therapy. Bonus points if you join me for the iced coffee walk after. So basically this guy's implying that he's a one-night... Like, I don't know if he's coming across that, but if I read that, I would think, okay, this guy's looking for a one-night stand. He's not looking for a long-term relationship.
Do you know there's another thing nowadays? Do you know what body count is?
Yeah, how many people you sleep with.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. No, so that's... Yeah, so there's all these new terms... And it's kind of funny because it's almost like a glorified thing. Oh, like my body count's 100. I'm like, okay, so when you get syphilis, good luck, But the thing is with dating, you got to know your intentions, because you know what these people are. Like this guy, I would not, like, I think he is an engineer, so I do like him that way. So he's a smart guy, but I do think, like, he comes across subconsciously as he wants, like, quick stuff. but I think he actually wants a long-term relationship. He just wrote his profile wrong, is what I believe. With this
Sometimes
guy.
that also happen that people have gotten themselves just for the
Yeah,
sake of
exactly. Because I think the cool thing, like you're saying, is body count stuff. So him giving the illusion that he's going out the party and everything like that,
That is an
is
illusion.
way more fun than oh, I'm looking for a long-term relationship.
So basically, this could be a little manipulating. Also.
Yeah, for sure. And this guy is, like I said, he's a very shy person with girls. Like I don't think he does. Like he's very quiet.
This could be a possibility that what he's showing, what he's pretending to be, he might not be the same person. In real life.
I don't think he is. I actually think he's much nicer than his profile comes across.
Oh,
Like that's what I believe.
interesting.
Because like he's almost coming across as a player, sort of.
Yeah.
Like he's giving that illusion, but I don't think he's an actual player. Like I think he probably has trouble going on dates and stuff, but he wants it and he wants long term.
He wants to sound cool.
It's almost like he wants to fit in. So one of the concepts with like with profiling and stuff is how someone dresses tells about the person. So with him, he's trying to dress to impress, but then there's like stuff like his shirt's not that fully ironed. There's these little things that are off that tells you he's trying to fit in. That he's not comfortable in the skin he is in.
Yeah.
So
Does that also come with age factor?
it can, but like I think the older you are, I think the like when you become maturity with dating and stuff is moving on really quickly. So it's kind of like telling people what you want and not wasting their time, not ghosting. Do you know what ghosting is?
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
know
so
what
that's another
ghosting
common
is.
thing where they just stop talking
They
to you
stop
for no
talking
reason.
to
But a
you,
lot of
yeah.
times there's warning signs before that actually happens, right? But like I think for modern day dating, for like the emotional maturity would be like, okay, I'm looking for long term. You're not looking for long term, and you don't wait too long. You don't lead them on. You go to the next one. You don't ghost them. You just move on. So like this guy has some work to do.
Let's talk about another one. So interesting. What
It
about
is interesting 'cause it's-
have you seen this one?
Oh,
The same guy, but
Roast your mid conversation means like. But again, it's I'm not saying he's a poser, but it's basically he's trying to portray something he's not. And I think that's maybe like the masculine to do on dating sites and stuff, because it's the same kind of pose, it's the same look. He's looking away again.
He's not
Notice
looking
he's
good.
looking the same way. He's wearing the glasses. His shirt's part of it's not ironed again. It's the same photo. It's the same pose.
I wouldn't have noticed the ironing
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
What about that? What did you say about ironing again? Like,
Okay, so basically, when you're profiling someone, if someone, think of it like dressed to impress. So like the shirt would be perfectly ironed, everything would be perfect, the shoes would be polished. Those are people that like they need control. So they're probably in a position where they're their own boss, or they need they don't like cluster, they don't like chaos, they don't like mess. They're basically like a neat freak and they're very OCD.
No.
And then so there are people who try to do that and that's what they want to appear, but then they have something off, like their belt is off, like it's an older belt, or the shoes are off, or their clothes are not ironed, and it's because they want that, but they're not that.
But they're not that.
And I'm not saying they're a wannabe, but I'm basically saying he's portraying what he's not. As a person, if you met him in person, he's not going to be what his profile shows.
so swipe right or left for him?
What do you think?
I
think he's nice though.
That's what I'm saying.
So I would swipe right for him in the sense of I do believe he's nice and I do believe he wants long term, even though he's done his profile really wrong.
Let's go for this one.
This is fun, eh?
This is one.
Your favorite playlist on shuffle, always something new, always.
I think never anyone would have done this on a podcast.
Yeah, I know. I like it. It's fun though.
Yeah, it's fun. And I think this could genuinely help people to find a,
No,
like,
and
look
yeah,
for
and
those
like
kind
if
of
they have any
sites.
questions for you, like if they want to send us pictures, like anytime, it's fun. Like I've done this a million times. Dating me is like your favorite play, or if they're like worried about their partner cheating or anything, because a lot of times the signs are.
Oh,
all
we are
there.
going to get
Oh,
into
okay,
that.
we're getting that. So that's that's exciting for me. Dating me is like
Somebody cheating. That's exciting. for
Dating
you.
me is like your favorite playlist on shuffle, always something new. So obviously this guy's a club, like basically everything is about clubbing, right? Your favorite playlist on shuffle, you're on the dance floor all night. It's showing him on a bunch of rocks, and it's showing him like with a selfie. And one of the things is with there's from like the research and from like what a lot of girls say is basically they don't like the selfie shots because they say it's very cheap.
The girls don't like it?
Yeah, because they say, oh, you're just doing this and it doesn't look good. So like
So girls don't like boys doing it?
Yeah, because they just think it looks cheap. Like what I mean is it
But
doesn't.
what about if girls are doing it?
Girls can get away with that kind of stuff because the guys are supposed to be the ones pursuing them. So that's another thing. But like I've heard a lot of times where girls don't like the selfie shot. And knows his is the selfie shot where he's just in
Interesting.
front of a mirror and doing this. And at least with his mirror's clean, if that counts for anything. Because sometimes you see like the dirty mirror and you're like, oh my God. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And then this is on a rocks, you can't even see him. But like what that tells this guy, like he's not coming across that he wants a long-term relationship. If I saw this, I would say, okay, this guy is literally just looking for, going to the club, having fun. And even when you see a portrait, it's kind of laid back, kind of like, oh, look, let's have fun.
Yeah.
kind
But
of
the
thing.
way that he's dressed up, what do you think about that?
It's very neutral, like it's very not special. It's very boring. I don't want to say boring, but it's like just casual.
Casual.
Yeah, and I think he's a casual person that
So
way.
what do you think? Date him or not?
For him, I like the first guy more than him, personally.
Okay.
Because I think the first guy's trying to be something, but he's not. But he actually wants a long-term relationship. Where this guy, I don't see that.
Should we do another boy? And
Whatever
or
you
girl?
want.
Guys, what do you think? Boy?
We should
One
do
more?
her. No. Okay.
Okay, let's do another boy. Yeah, let's do this.
HIIT class, captain's brunch, and family time. Discover rare tea. Okay, so this guy's the dress to impress guy I was just talking about. So he would be his own boss. He would be in control. He's a neat freak. He would not like chaos. He would not like mess. He's kind of like
Organized?
Yeah, or very organized. Like it would be crazy, OCD organized. That if you went to his house, you could just move stuff around and he would go crazy.
How would you be so sure that he would be crazy organized OCD?
He just has that vibe. Like look at how dressed. Look at how perfect everything is. Look at how
Yeah.
perfect his pant crease is. Look how do you know this person?
No, I don't.
No, okay. But everything.
Why would I know somebody from it?
No, I was just gonna
That
ask.
was-
Yeah, because like everything's like it would drive you insane though. Like he would be the person that would drive me insane because he's too OCD. The other thing is he does have the psychopath eyes. So,
You know what? When I saw this,
Yeah,
I actually
there's a
thought
creepy
about the
vibe
eyes.
about him. So I feel like this guy, I would avoid at all costs because he has these eyes, and like they just don't. It doesn't. This picture seem? Nothing seems genuine about this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just the eyes. Like the first thing that
It's
you,
not-
which
nothing's
caught
all
my
there.
attention was eyes.
And you know what? What is a psychopath? What do they care most about? Their
Themselves.
image and their
Yeah.
themselves. That's why he's dressed like this. Yeah, he's a psycho.
Interesting.
I would say he's a psychopath.
Interesting. This is getting interesting.
So Priya, avoid him at all costs.
Okay,
No,
let's-
seriously though, like you saw the eye thing.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to girls now. What do you think about?
Okay. A good cup of coffee. I am very picky. A good cup of coffee. I'm very. Or is there two? Yeah, I'm telling a story. In my element when I'm telling a story. Okay, there's pictures.
No, we're talking about a girl now.
Is it the same? This is the same profile, right?
Same person.
Okay, perfect.
Same person, different
Okay.
pictures.
Honest communication, deep understanding, and a million inside jokes. Long-term relationship. Yeah, I actually think with her, she's actually is looking for a long-term relationship. I think she's an actual nerd. Like what I mean is like she's educated. You can tell. I think she likes to travel the world, obviously, and she likes to do things. So she's the kind of person in a relationship. She's looking for a partner long-term to go and do stuff with.
Okay.
I don't really see her as a one-night stand kind of person. But that's the vibe she gives off, which is good actually. And then, like she says, the hallmark of a good relationship is honest communication, deep understanding, and a million inside jokes. See, she wants that one person to do everything with. Yeah, it's like for her, like I don't think, like I don't see anything major that I would be like, okay, don't date her, right? Like I feel with her, she like actually wants a long-term relationship, and she's gonna be picky with it. But I think with her, she kind of is opinionated in the sense of if she's not interested, I think she'll move on pretty quick.
Okay.
Which is actually good.
Which is actually good.
That's what I
in a
think.
way.
A lot of people say that's a red flag. I don't think it is. I think it's actually a green flag because
I
they don't
think you
waste,
know what you want.
Yeah, and you're not wasting people's time. So you say, oh, I'm not interested, on to the next one. But she's kind of someone that wants to always go travel the world, kind of that lifestyle. So if you don't have that lifestyle, I would not suggest being with her because she's someone that always wants to do something, always wants to be active, always wants to travel the world. And I do think like she's smart. And she even Sonny says in a different way, the key to my heart is a very good cup of coffee. I'm very picky. So yeah, I just kind of, I know she's referring to coffee, but she's not. She's referring to guys.
To guys.
Yeah.
Interesting. So swipe right.
Yeah, I guess we swipe right on her. So our favorite so far for the three guys was the first one for me because even though his profile didn't show who he is as a person, he was genuine in the sense of like if you met him in person, you would like him. With the other two, no. Especially the third one was a psychopath. I'm pretty confident. And then for her, yeah, she would be like the first person. But I know she's not like the first person of the guys, but she's fine. Like I don't see any red flags is what I'm trying to say. My self-routine is blasting sad music and stalking people on LinkedIn. This could be us.
Stalking people on LinkedIn.
If loving this is wrong, I don't want to be right. Okay, so she's someone, she says she wants a long-term relationship. I don't buy it because every shot of her is in a bikini. Right? Like, it's all like live fast kind of thing. If you look at this picture, you look at this picture, look at this picture, everything is about clubbing, one-night stand kind of thing. So she says, if you read it, it says, oh, I want a long-term relationship. But if you look at every photo, it's like her in a club, dressed up. It's her in bikinis. Does that really tell you it's a long-term relationship?
No.
No. It's so what I think with her, she's the kind of person that's going to say she wants a long-term relationship, but it's going to be a bunch of one-night stands.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So this could be deceiving as well. Like
Yeah,
the person could be
definitely.
saying that I want a long-term
Yeah,
relationship.
because that's what it says on her thing, but I don't think she does. Like, I think she lives quick.
It's the way that she chose to pick.
Portray herself.
put
Because
her
everything she's
pictures.
portraying is kind of like sexual, if you've noticed too. So it's like, you know, like actions speak louder than words.
Okay, so this is
Another one.
just one more after this.
Okay, so memes and similar music tastes. Yeah, so this girl is definitely a nerd. Okay, yeah, okay, wait, it just says she's an engineer. I was going to say she's a nerd, and so I just scrolled, and yeah, she's an engineer, I just found out.
She's an engineer?
She's an engineer is what it says on this. So she's smart. With her, I think she's similar to the first one in the sense that she just wants to meet one person and kind of see where it's going to go. Like, there's no, like, major red flags when I look at her pictures.
What about the eyes?
No psychopath eyes that I'm aware of, which is very important.
Very important.
Yeah, but I think with her,
Any of the people that you saw, apart from the third person, anyone else was narcissist?
not so far. But when you think about it, so we've had, what, 7 people now?
Six. I
Six
guess.
people. So one of them is 6. It's not 7%, but it knows the odds are similar. Yeah, no, she doesn't have the psychopath eyes that I see. Like, our eyes are, like, it's not psychopathic. But I think she knows what she wants in life, and she's not going to waste time. And she's going to be really quick. Like, I think she's going to give a few chances and go. But she's going to be the one in charge. She needs, like, I think she wants someone in charge, but I think she's the person in charge in a relationship.
Oh, okay. So is that a good thing?
Depends on the person. Because, you know, some guys are more laid back. It depends on the chemistry, right? You can't, like, you know, it really depends on the person. And that's the other thing is people realize, you know, this person's meant for me for looks, but your personalities do matter,
Yeah.
you know?
So what do you think about this person? Swipe right, left?
I like the first one more than her. The first girl.
The girl. Okay.
Yeah. But I would still say right. Like, I don't see any major signs. So now this one. Figuring out my dating goals so she doesn't know. 2 months in tequila shots. Randomly stopped to get tattoos because there is I see my flight, but no regret. So I think this person, like, I think she wants a long-term relationship, but she's not having a long-term relationship. I think just from how she writes and stuff, she doesn't actually know what she wants. Like, she claims she probably, because, you know, the cliche thing to say is, oh, I want a long-term relationship. But with her, it even says figuring out my dating goals. So she doesn't know. So I think with her, it's more short-term relationships, lots of short-term relationships, having fun, short-term relationships. But I think eventually she will settle down. But she's got to kind of, like, learn what she wants. I think she doesn't know what she wants.
Isn't this a common theme with most of
Yeah,
people?
that's the problem with Jen. They don't know what they want. And if you don't know what you want, like, what are you going to do in a dating sense?
Yeah.
So if someone that you think is compatible with you comes and they want a long-term relationship and then you don't know what you want, you might blow your chance. What if that person is special to you and you don't, you know, it doesn't work out because of that? And I also think a lot of times it's timing. So the person might be right for you 2 years from now, might not be right for you now.
Yeah.
So
Same person.
What?
Same person?
Same person. So what I mean is a lot of it's like just perfect timing, I think. Or that's what I believe with this kind of stuff, is the person might not be right for you at this moment, but like if it was a year earlier or a year later, they might be, depending on what's going on with both of you. So this person, I think, doesn't know what they want. I think they're in a lot of quicker relationships, I would say, if I had to guess.
How can somebody know or understand
Yeah.
what do they really want?
They have to know what they want, and that's the hard part of dating is, like, I think you have to know what you want before you have a long-term relationship or you kind of want to date. You kind of just can't go in and go, oh, I want a long-term relationship, but your actions don't say you want a long-term relationship. So you got to kind of evaluate what you want, and you don't settle. So a lot of people settle. I think more people settle than we realize. So if you want, you know, this person gives you certain aspects and that you're happy with that, that's fine. But most people aren't as happy as you think they are. So my words of wisdom would be like, know what you want and give yourself confidence, because a lot of times when you're dealing with certain people or dating certain people, they kill your confidence so you don't move on, you don't leave. So I would say, you know, have confidence in yourself. You know, the grass is greener on the other side, and that is true to a degree. So they don't just give up or just think this is all I can get. Even this guy treats me so bad or this girl treats me so bad, but this is all I can get. No, there's a billion people in the world.
Yeah.
You know, get self-confidence.
Is there a possibility like a person who doesn't know what they really want and they could end up dating a wrong guy or a girl?
That happens all the time. So basically, like that's how kind of a psychopath or a narcissist kind of picks their person, right? Okay. So they do a few concepts. So one of them's called, basically what they're doing is they're isolating you so you think that's the only option you have. So what I mean is they'll make you not talk to your friends as much. You probably know people it's happened to.
Yep.
They might not make you talk to their families as much. And the reason for that is you have nowhere to go. So you're kind of trapped. The other thing is they make you kind of attach to them. And how they do it is a psychopath or a narcissist. They're basically willing to do anything. It's concept. Have you heard of love bombing before?
No.
So love bombing is basically telling you and doing everything to make you feel special, but it's almost like too good to be true. So another red flag, in my opinion, is if you met someone right away and it felt too good to be true.
Okay. So just bombing them with a lot of love.
Yeah, and it's not real.
Mollycoddling them.
Yeah, and it's not real. They're willing to do stuff the average person won't do. And so what happens is then the person falls in love with a person that doesn't exist because you, like a month later, a few months later, you see who they really are. And then you keep going back to them because you think they are the first person when they're not the first person. The first person doesn't exist. It was just an image. And so then they get attached to that person, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So you're not attached to who they are. You're attached to that person that doesn't actually exist.
Because they're in their mind, they're thinking, oh, he or she doesn't, or he or she takes too good care of me or something.
Exactly.
Like
When that never happened. It might have happened on the first date and that's it. You know? And then the other thing is you got to test them. So I would suggest if you're going on dates to do a few tests. So one of the best tests is you want to almost trigger them without triggering them. So what I mean is insult them without insulting them and see how they react.
That's interesting.
Because psychopaths, you got to think are like, they're kind of like children. So what I mean by that is they do tantrums. So if they're doing a small tantrum when it's the first date where you're like there to impress, that means they're going to blow up later on and they're abusive. That's what that would tell me. So what happens, you trigger them, you kind of subtly insult them. So it's also used in like for psychopaths on girls when they're taught to how to pick up girls. And so it's called nagging. And what that basically means is what they're taught is like insult the girl, but don't insult her. It's almost like an example would be, say you're wearing a necklace. You'll say, oh, that necklace is very nice. It's like my grandma's. So you see how it's a compliment, but it's not a compliment. And they're kind of trying to lower the girl's confidence. And that's why they do it, because it kind of it shows your power. That's the whole principle around it. But you want to kind of do the same thing with a psychopath, because if they kind of do a small tantrum, you know they're going to blow up in the future. Because you're trying to just see their emotional level.
See how they're going to get irritated.
And psychopaths are very impulsive and stuff, so they have trouble holding their emotion. But if they just do a small reaction there, like even if it's a small reaction, think about this. This is your first date. So imagine what they're going to do 6 months from now.
So that is also very difficult. Like when you're going on a first date, it's very, very difficult to judge a person. So how would you read a person on your first date?
So one of the things you want to test to make sure they're not using these techniques. So what a common technique in interrogation stuff is called mirroring. It's to build rapport. So if you see how you just put your hand on the table, I would do the same thing.
Got it.
So if you're back like this,
Yeah.
I'm back like this. If you're going like this, I'm going like this. We're basically mirroring each other. So one of the tests to see if they're mirroring you and trying to do it consciously, because a natural mirror is fine, because that's just a sync, but a non-natural is not. So do something like put your yawn or put your leg on top of your leg and see if they mimic you in the next minute. If they do, that means they're purposely doing it. Which is why they're using these techniques. You know, it's kind of, that's more, because a psychopath learns this stuff, so it's more likely that it's not good, is what I'm trying to say, versus if it's natural, where you're not thinking, it's small gestures. So you want to kind of do that to make sure. And then the other thing is, like I said, do that insult thing. The insult thing is a very good...
Insulting?
Yeah, like that subtle insult I was talking about.
Subtle insulting, yeah.
But not too bad, to just see how they react.
Yeah.
And also the other thing is you want to match, a lot of times with like lie detection and this stuff, it's called baselining. So what that means is...
Baseline?
Yeah, it's called baseline. So if you have... say you have a conversation through text before with them and they talk about stuff and say they tell you their favorite food is a banana. Then in person you're talking, ask them one or two of these questions you asked from a long time ago and see how they answer. So if I said like, what is your favorite food? And all of a sudden you said bread. Why did you tell me the other thing earlier?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
You're
contradicting them. So that's how they tell if they're lying or genuine or not as well.
So basically, there's a lot of testing.
There is a lot if you want that.
If you want that.
But
I think it is important also.
No, it is important so you don't get hurt or anything, because like you always hear.
You got to take a guard for yourself.
No, 1,000%. And like I said, I'm not arguing. It depends what you want. Like there's this rule of thumb that like a lot of these girls come to me and they go, like how do I prevent them? Because all these people just want to sleep with me and I just do that. And then I thought I want a long-term relationship. And what I tell them is to have the 10-date rule. And they're like, what's the 10-date rule? And basically don't do anything sexual for 10 dates. And the reason you do that is because then if someone's interested in you, they're going for the whole thing.
10 dates.
10 dates, or like, I don't know how long that would last, but it depends on the person. But if you like, say someone pretends they want a long-term relationship with you, they're basically love bombing you, telling you everything you want to hear, and then you sleep with them on the first or second date, they're most likely not going to come back. So, and that's fine if someone does that. I'm not arguing that. I'm basically arguing if you want a long-term relationship, you got to wait to show that they're actually committed to you.
Yeah.
Right? Because why would they wait? Why would you wait 10 dates if you're not interested in them?
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the best tests you could do if you want a long-term relationship.
That is another problem with today's generation.
Yeah,
as
just
well.
quick.
It's just quick.
Yeah. And so it's very quick, but like if you actually want a long-term relationship, that's how you do it. And
They expect 10 years of a relationship or 5 years of a relationship to happen in the first.
yeah, and it
2
doesn't. You got to build the
dates.
foundation.
Yeah.
And like if you guys actually like each other's company and stuff, that's more indicator of a long-term relationship than we slept with each other on date 1 and it didn't work out or whatever. So that would be my advice. It would be the 10-date rule.
What would you say, like when you are going on a first date and you're meeting that person, the person that you swiped right?
Yeah.
You're meeting that person
Yeah.
on the first date. What are the 3 signs to look for in the first 30 seconds without having much conversation? More like physical cues.
Yeah, so
non-verbal
like
cues.
see how they look compared to their picture. So a lot of times you always hear stories they don't look exactly like their picture looks because a lot of I think modern days that's the hard part with dating is the editing of photos and things like that.
Yeah.
So firstly see that, but the thing is a lot of times what I believe, and I could be wrong, is I believe intuition is experience. So if you go on so many dates and they're all awful, maybe you learn something for every single date that you just pick up right when you see them. Right. So if I went on a first date and I looked at someone and just something was off about them, I don't know what it was and I can't explain it, I'm probably not going on another date because my intuition is saying avoid this because someone else had it. So you trust your gut more than you realize, but like actually trust your gut. Because a lot of people say, I met this guy and I didn't feel good about him, but I still went on a date and then he cheated on me later on. But I'm like, so you didn't feel good about him, but you gave him a chance. Why are you giving him a chance? Like, I'm fine with giving people chances, but like if your intuition is really saying something reminds you of someone else, you're probably right about the person. And one of the things with profiling, so profiling is essentially like reading people. Cold reading is the same principle. Cold reading is essentially reading people as well. They say, basically, if you don't know what to say and the person reminds you of someone, describe that person because you're going to be 80% right.
Can you explain that?
So say like you're profiling, you're looking for stuff on people. Like if someone wears a blue shirt, it means this. If someone's wearing pants, it means this. But if they remind you of their friend, if they remind you of someone you know, just describe that person. And you'll be right more often than you think. Which is very interesting, eh? So if, for example, you go on a date and he reminds you of like, say, your friend's friend, they might be similar, much more similar than you think, and that's maybe where you're getting the information for that person.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that's the way to do it, but I'm saying
But it's just that
trust your instincts.
trust your instincts.
Like people are smarter than they give them credit for,
Yeah.
and they just sometimes.
And all of a sudden they get dumb on the first date.
Yeah, I know, and that's the problem. Is you just gotta be yourself. You know,
Yeah.
don't. Another thing with first dates, you're wearing a mask. It's not who you truly are.
Yeah.
There's no way you can prevent that. It's just as time goes by, people open up.
People open up.
But the
It's,
problem with psychopaths, they're willing to do anything and tell you anything. They're willing to love bomb you. That's where you kind of get screwed.
Is being narcissist any worse or
It's the same.
is
It's
it okay?
psychopath's way worse than a narcissist.
Yeah.
But a narcissist is still really bad for a relationship. Like it's going to be hard.
How
to work
about
out.
if 2 people who are dating are both narcissists?
It won't work because both of them will want the attention.
Oh.
So it won't work long term. And even dating a narcissist, I don't know how that would work. Like you would have to be basically submissive in every sense. Like you just have to just basically be abused essentially, psychologically abused,
Domination.
emotionally abused, right? It wouldn't be good.
Interesting. How many? I believe that, like you said, psychopathic percentage is around 7%.
7%, yeah.
Narcissists might be more.
Well, there would be more narcissists, but like they kind of put it all together. But yeah, I think also modern dating and social media has made more people narcissistic. Because think about it, the people who do well online, they have to talk about themselves nonstop.
Yeah.
So when you're on social media and you're talking about yourself, those are the ones that are getting attention. They like the attention. So it's made more people narcissistic.
Is it possible that somebody becomes narcissist over the period of time?
Yeah, that can happen because a lot of people believe it's self-made. They don't believe. Some people believe that you're born with it. Some people believe it happens for a reason.
Yeah.
So if you're getting all this attention by talking to yourself, you think you're greater than you actually are. You become a narcissist.
Yeah. So what I noted down was that look for mirroring.
Yeah.
If somebody's mirroring you, give some insulting.
Yeah, like it's
not
called
so hard
nagging.
word.
Yeah, nagging.
Insulting and set up a baseline.
And set up a baseline. So basically contradict or find contradictions between your conversation. Because the thing is, you don't just want to go on a first date without talking to them for a bit online or however, because then you get your information. So if the person says, oh, my favorite car is a Viper, and then you meet in person, they say, oh, I don't have a favorite car.
Oh, this is interesting. Like if somebody says that, does the choice of a thing that they say that what is their favorite color, favorite thing, reveal something about the person?
It can, yeah, depending on the situation. For me, it would, but for the general population, I don't think it's
give me an
gonna.
example.
So basically, if someone's telling me like stuff about, I guess the easiest way to make it fit for everyone is like politics, religion. Because if your religious views are the complete opposite or your politics are complete opposite, I don't know if it's going to work out. And they always say don't talk about religion and politics at the start. But I'm just trying to give an example for everyone. But like that kind of stuff. So make sure what you believe in, like don't compromise your beliefs because someone doesn't have it because you like the person so much. Because I think that long term is not healthy. You know, so that's what the advice I would give actually.
Interesting. Can we do one thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to do now. We talk about celebrities because celebrities also have a lot of relationships.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about our prime minister. What do you think about him?
So this is Carney, right?
Yeah.
So like Trudeau gave me really bad vibes in the sense of like everyone knows, like, you know, there's settlements and stuff, so I don't really have to say much. But like Carney just comes across as kind of very smart. Like he's very high intelligence. You can tell he's very smart and he's very nerdy. Like he's a nerd, I would say, which is a good thing, I think. But like I'm not I don't follow politicians or anything. I think in order to be a politician, you kind of have to be evil in a weird way.
In a weird way, yeah.
So like I wouldn't still be a fan of him as a person, but I think he's high intelligence is what I would say. I don't think he's gonna be someone having affairs and stuff like that. Very high intelligence, very worker oriented. I think very nerdy. Like I think he's a huge nerd and stuff. Like I'm sure he has lots of sketchy things, but all politicians do.
All politicians.
So I'm not like that's what I would say about
How
him.
would you compare him with Trudeau though?
I think Trudeau's worse. I think Trudeau's not that intelligent. I think he's low IQ. I think he was a puppet. I think people are just telling him what to do. So Trudeau might not be as bad as he seems because he was a puppet. He just got told what he said. Makes very stupid decisions. He gets away with it because of his name. And even before he was prime minister, he made a lot of dumb decisions.
Yeah.
And he gets away with everything. But if it was anyone else, they would have been in trouble. They would have not really existed they would have been in prison or something like that. For some of the stuff he's done that I don't really want to.
Yeah. Interesting.
What's your vibes on him?
Yeah, same. Like I think he
Yeah.
seems like a little.
He's almost boring, eh?
This guy looks super boring as hell, but he also looks very smart.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I'm sure there's a lot of backdoor deals, which every politician does, where it's like, you know, push this agenda so then his company can make money, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's just every politician, so that's why I'm not going after him.
What do you think about India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi? Have you seen him though?
No, I haven't actually. I didn't.
Oh, okay.
So this guy is obviously someone that he needs to be seen, if that makes any
There's more
sense.
picture if you want to see.
Yeah, so like you can tell he's also very smart. He's very dominant too. Like this guy, like I've never heard him talk or anything, but you can tell this guy can control a room. Like when he talks, people listen to him. And I think he's had the gift of gab or whatever it's called. Like I say, he's smart. He has the gift of gab, and he knows what to say the right thing. And I think he doesn't put up with bullshit.
He doesn't.
No, so I think he would be tough on his laws and stuff, or like he's going to change his laws to be more harsh and things like that, like tough on crime, things like that.
Yeah.
I think he's going to change those laws. Has he? Like I don't know much.
Yeah, a lot of things that he's working on. I mean, India is not the same position what it was.
No, it's not.
Decade ago or
Yeah.
so. So he's been re-elected as a prime minister.
And has he changed laws like being tougher on like tough
I
on crime?
wouldn't say anything right now because first of all, I'm not so much connected with Indian politics.
Yeah, I don't follow it at all.
Yeah, but as far as I know, as far as international power, what India holds, it has definitely been marketed better now.
Yeah, that's because of him.
Yeah, so I think it's all because of him and the Minister of External Affairs.
Yeah,
And, you know,
yeah,
how
no,
they're
that makes
doing
sense. Yeah, because that's what I got from that picture really quickly.
We'll do a bunch of
Yeah.
content creators and more Indian celebrities as well.
Because the other thing I was gonna say is like if you look at there's this study and it basically said because we're going back to dating and I forgot to mention this.
Yeah.
It's basically if you talk about your partner more online, so they've done studies and basically if you talk about your partner more online, like on social media, the more online you talk about them, the less happy you are and the more likely you're gonna break up. So if you like say happy anniversary and you talk here and there, you're more happy with your relationship. But the people, so you can almost predict. You can do this game online where you can almost predict on your Facebook or on your Instagram who's gonna break up because the more they talk about the partner and how much they're in love and stuff, they're not gonna last.
Yeah.
Is what the study basically says.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about this Indian content creator. He's very, very famous.
Honestly, this guy seems like relatively a genuine person. Like he seems relatively nice. He's comfortable in the skin he's in. He's comfortable with who he is as a person. He's like, he would be very like, he obviously has an active and physical life. You know, he doesn't have trouble making friends. He probably has a huge following because of that. People connect him because he's very personable. And I think he's willing to say what's on his mind, but he's not mean. He says it in a nice way.
Yeah.
And that's what I would have got from him. I don't see any red flags with this guy.
This actor you might know,
I don't know.
No, you don't?
No, actually. I might recognize
He's
this
Salman
guy.
Khan.
Okay, I do recognize
He's
him.
pretty famous.
Yeah, this guy's definitely a legend, you can tell. Like a legend, yeah.
Like, he has, like, a cult following.
Yeah, like this guy, I think, just does his own thing. Like,
Yeah.
Like, I think he doesn't give a shit about anything. He just does his own thing. And that's how he lives his life.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he's kind of, nothing really stands out to me with him other than, like, I think he's a troubled soul in the sense of, like, he
It feels like
for his art, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And that's what makes him so great, though.
Yeah.
So yeah, nothing really stands out.
What about his eyes, though?
He doesn't have psychopath eyes. He doesn't have, like, these eyes, you could indicate that maybe it's someone that suffers from depression, but it's probably not. Just from how his eyes is. Because you see how he looks happy, but he doesn't look happy.
Yeah.
You see the smile is not genuine. It's almost like he's sad. So in that moment, I think he was depressed or something was off.
Okay.
And it depends on the situation where this, again, it's depressing eyes.
Depressing eyes.
So I think he does suffer from depression or something of that nature, maybe addictive personality disorder, something of that nature, where he's, because think about it, he has everything in life or everything that people think they want in life, and yet he's not as happy as he thinks he should be. Oh, that's the vibe. I could be miserably wrong.
No, I think
Just something. Yeah.
only Salman Khan knows the truth.
Yeah, we can ask him one day.
Okay, so let's talk about this guy. So he's the founder of one of the biggest AI companies,
Yeah.
OpenAI,
Yeah.
ChatGPT, and he's with his husband.
The one on the left, right? Yes, yeah, you can almost guess which one it is because the other person's so much younger or looks younger. Not that that matters, but so there's something off about him. I think he's autistic. Like there's something about him. Like I think he's very smart, like probably a genius or like that level smart. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely,
like next
and
to
that's
you.
why his eyes are weird. So there's something about his eyes. There's something about his social cues. So I think a lot of times they say with intelligence, obviously people say, oh yeah, the IQ test and stuff. I don't think the IQ test and stuff is accurate for intelligence. I think there's so many different types of intelligence, but this guy you could tell is like a genius.
he is.
Yeah, like I don't know anything about him, but this guy could get his PhD with no effort. Like he's smart as hell. Very like.
But
a
is he
genius.
evil?
It's hard to say, like, because I think he's willing to do stuff others aren't willing to do, but he doesn't give me psychopath vibes. I think he just, it's almost like he doesn't understand it rather than doing it. You know, see, there's no evil. I don't see an evil intent with him. I see kind of like just an obsession with him. I see that he might cut corners or do stuff,
Yeah.
but I don't think there's intent to it.
What do you think about him in comparison with Elon Musk?
Elon Musk is a psychopath. Like that's there's no even question about that. Like the stuff that guy does, and he acts like he started from the bottom, and he didn't. He was like his parents owned a freaking mine in Africa. Like give me a break.
Yeah.
And basically he gets credit for all these projects when it's other people that did all the work, and he just buys them out.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's like the smartest person ever, and he's not. He's not.
He's a psychopath.
He's a psychopath. Like he's like way worse than this guy. Like Elon Musk is very bad. This guy, I wouldn't like. He's like I think to be at that level, you kind of have to be a little. Not normal, but like I think this guy's literally like Elon Musk is not a genius. This guy's a genius.
Really? You
Yeah,
could say
I don't
that?
see him as a genius. Like I think Musk is good at stealing other people's ideas and taking credit for it. So I'm not a fan of Musk, as you can tell.
Okay, so this is the last one. So this guy has a long history in India, but what do you get out of this guy?
So this guy this guy has like a uniqueness about him. So he kind of does his own thing. So he probably someone that he's comfy with who he is as a person. So whatever that is, like he really speaks what he believes in. I don't know what he is. Like, is he an actor? Like,
No.
Like he's a politician?
I'll tell you in a moment.
Okay, yeah. But like he really is fine with his voice. Like he doesn't hold back. He really tells you what you want to hear. And I do like.
Is one of the pictures the old picture?
Like this one.
This is the older
Yeah,
picture.
that's the older picture.
So, the
So from
recent
that
one
picture,
was-
it's and that's a recent one. So he's just older. But yeah, though I think this guy he does his own thing, and he doesn't like nothing really stands out from him. Like I think like he gets butthurt really easily, but like I don't think
Like, would you trust this guy?
What would the situation be?
With business or
I wouldn't trust him in a business sense. Like, I would not trust him in a business sense. I would maybe trust him if he was like a casual friend, but like business-wise, there's just some like that. I feel that's where he kind of like he says what's on his mind. He does his own thing. So I don't know if that's like he would not be a good partnership, is what I believe.
would you trust him though? Like, just trust him
Not in a
if he's
bit.
saying the truth.
I don't know if he is actually saying the truth. That's the thing. It depends on the situation. Like I don't know. There's something like I said is like he just does his own thing, but I think he would say the truth, but it'd be distorted. Like it's his perspective of the truth. Like I don't think he like sees other perspectives as well as like I would, for example. Like I don't know, like what is his background?
So he's the owner of India's biggest airlines company by the
Yeah.
name of Kingfisher.
Yeah. Okay.
And they went bankrupt, but they owed a lot of money
Yeah.
for, people,
yeah.
government.
So my whole thing about not trusting him as a business person makes sense. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
billions of dollars. And he went away from India
Yeah.
to England and,
Oh, he ran away.
he ran away.
Yeah, so that's what I said. He doesn't care about what he says and all this stuff. But like, remember, the only thing I really was concrete about is I would not trust him in a business sense.
Yeah. And then he was recently interviewed by one of the biggest podcasters in India.
Yeah.
And he was telling his part of the story. So
Yeah.
the recent picture that you saw
Yeah.
was his
Yeah.
now picture.
Yeah.
And he was telling his side of the story that, he didn't really run away. He
No, he ran away. Like when you like look at the evidence now, like why would you just go and leave everyone hanging?
Yeah, and he even returned back all the
Yeah.
money, and nobody's talking about that. So he's talking.
Did
about
he actually return the money though?
I'm not sure, but like
Yeah.
the news,
You don't know
maybe
what- yeah.
I don't know the reality of
Yeah.
it. But what he's saying is with the proof and everything, I think there is a possibility that he did.
Yeah, like I said, is I would trust him as a distant friend, but I would not trust him in a business sense. And that's kind of accurate to what you just portrayed, right?
Interesting. All right, so we are pretty much towards the end. So let's talk about that. What do you think is advice that you would like to give to Gen Zs?
So know what you want. I think that's the number one thing is know and don't settle. Like if you're not happy, tell them you're not happy. Be honest about it. You don't have to be mean and ghost them. Like just be honest of who you are as a person would be my number one advice. Just go for what you want and like be confident in yourself.
And how can they strengthen their intuition about profiling people?
I think also remember, a side note, people don't really change as much as you think they do. So if you're giving someone the benefit of the doubt because you don't think he changed, I guarantee you're probably wrong about that. There's obviously chances where people change, but it's rare. So like who they are, who they present you as them, just take it for the value of what it actually is. I'm sorry, what was your question? Sorry.
No, this was the same. Like how do you strengthen how they can strengthen their
I think the
intuition?
best advice is try not to lead people on, but also if you see the signs, maybe consider jumping to the next one. Like don't get caught into when you get hooked and then you're in an abusive relationship and it's the same cycle over and over again. Always remember the grass is greener on the other side. So if you feel like you're in an abusive relationship, there is help. There's ways to get out of it. There is a better world than you realize.
Amazing, brother.
Yeah.
This was such a revealing conversation about people's profiling,
Yeah.
understanding their relationship. So where can people find you?
JamesWhite.com or like my Instagram is like Jaymes White or Facebook, Instagram's Jaymes White. I don't even know what my stuff is, but it's Jaymes White basically. And like, we're doing the big.
Is there something
event.
coming? Right
Yeah,
now?
the big Halloween events are coming to Toronto. The Séances 10-year anniversary. So that's going to be pretty fun.
Okay. Amazing, brother. Thank you so much for this conversation. And I'm sure a lot of Gen Zs and even millennials for this matter might get a lot of value from this conversation.
Yeah, like hopefully they take a few tips, even if it's just like the eyes wide open. Look for those in the pictures, like little things like that. Like it's hard to kind of read people in the situation, but even if you just remember one thing and you remember firm handshakes is not the best sign, little things like that.
Yeah.
Hopefully it helps a bit.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Take care. Thank you for listening to this podcast. And if you're not subscribed yet, then click right now and subscribe because every week I'm going to post a video or a podcast and it is going to be about marketing, content creation, and business. And if you want to check out some other videos and interviews, then here are some of my recommendations for you.